All righty, let's see. Let's see if I'm live. Let's see if I have sound. I should. All right, let's check that out. Oop. Hold on. Remove. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Stacey Storino. Welcome back to my channel. This is the number one place I feel for content marketing folks. Yay, you can hear me, Miss Lenore? Sorry, I was on a moment ago, and for some crazy reason, I had no sound. So it's funny, we're talking about entrepreneur fails today. So, it's almost appropriate that even somebody like me who's been a content marketing coach for 8 years and an entrepreneur really for 22 years, part-time for a lot of that, full-time for the last 8. I like the dang it. I was like, dang it. It was like, So, entrepreneurs, no matter how experienced you are, no matter how much you love or hate tech or whatever, tech bites, sometimes we have problems. That's a whole separate issue for a whole separate day. I'm going to be greeting my students in a minute. Hashtag live, hashtag replay, you guys. Also, really quickly, before I forget, April popularity plan assets pack is up. So if you all want to check that out, we're almost in April. I can't believe it. Let me replace the pinned item. Okay. And let me see. All right. So my pinned item should be, let's see. Aha. Yeah, the April popularity plan, because I know that some of my students are going to ask about that. And then also, I want to talk to you guys about not just generally, like globally, what it's like to deal with failure as an entrepreneur, because, we could talk about that if you want. Of course, we will. But what I really want to get to, because my content marketing coach experience is content marketing for conversions. So that involves a marketing and sales funnel. I want to discuss the 4 main levels of the marketing and sales funnel. And if you're not getting sales at the very bottom of the funnel, where you could be failing as an entrepreneur with respect to perhaps your content marketing methods and what you do to figure out where your funnel is broken and what the likely causes are, and how, most importantly, to fix it. So that's what we're going to do. So not only is the April popularity plan out, that's marketing, graphics, email, and social media captions pack. So that's pinned down below. I'll make sure that it's in the beginning of the description on the replay, because I know that's a big favorite. I can't believe we're March 30th, one more day after this, and we're into April. So if you need help with your content marketing and covering your daily to near daily content marketing base, that packet can help you, because you've got 15 graphics that no matter what you're selling and who you're selling it to, you can have posts for at least half the month that you could use for relationship marketing based purposes. There's 15 corresponding social media captions that are pre-written and templated for you to go with them, so you're pretty close to one and done. Fill in the blanks, tweak with the caption, you're good to go. And also in that same pack is for emails, one assigned to each week of the next month, which is April in this case. And you can do relationship marketing. And in the PS, if you're running a sale or whatever, you can tack that on too. But the main point of those emails is to build up the know, like, and trust factor between yourself and your audience, because if you don't have that, no one or almost no one's going to buy from you, whether it's on email or on social. 98% of visitors to your website the first time won't buy from you. Even if they have a fair amount of KLT, they may still not do it. So you have to get really good at driving traffic through your funnel, not just one and done, but repeatedly. And sometimes that alone is the reason why you get entrepreneurs who fail at their businesses, and or they're like, I swear I'm doing content marketing and it doesn't work. You can't just like once a month come out with a sale and go hide like you're doing the walk of shame because you asked for money. Someone's on your email list understanding that you are a business if you're doing things right. So they're not going to be mortally wounded and offended if you market to them by email, by social, or both. All right, so I just wanted to get out about the April popularity plan because yes, there were some people going, is that still available? It is. And then Socialgram Shortcut, my Instagram deep dive course. It's totally updated for Reels and for all the algorithmic updates that are out there. Okay, so I put the link to the updated version of that, and I'm going to link it up to the main domain name shortly. One thing at a time, everybody. But there's the link for those people that are just like, I've been wanting to get into that course. So it's been completely overhauled, 7 modules, 11 bonuses. And one of those bonuses includes not only a special Facebook group for paid customers only of Socialgram Shortcut, but you get weekly coachings in there from me too. All right, so talked about those things. Let's talk about the marketing and sales funnel. So if you're a note taker, this is probably where you want to take notes. Even if you've been a paid student of mine in any of my other offerings before, I think it's important that you understand not just the marketing and sales funnel conceptually, but how your content marketing may or may not be causing things to break down at each of the 4 levels of the funnel. Okay, because when I talk about my pre-recorded videos on this channel, so you get those Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and currently we're doing lives and replays on Wednesdays. Hashtag live, hashtag replay. I have students, thousands of them across the world. They're not all in the same time zone. So especially if you're watching on the replay, put hashtag replay at the very least so I can give you a thumbs up and a heart and some love. Okay. And if you have any content marketing questions now live or even on the replay, ask them. I do tend to check back on these lives to make sure that if somebody watched on the replay and they have a content marketing question or a question about anything we cover from week to week, I get back to you, right? This is my weekly give back to the community. All right. So let's talk about the 4 levels of a marketing and sales funnel. And then we're going to discuss how your content marketing could cause you to get a break at some point in that funnel. Because yes, the most successful businesses will get sales theoretically every day, let alone every week, let alone every month. If you're not getting sales daily or close, it's really hard, no matter what you're selling and who you're selling it to and what the price point or price points are, for you to get to 6 figures, multiple 6 figures, 7 figures and beyond. It's just hard to do it. And you're not going to do it just by having like one sale or income-based promotion a month. So even my influencers, because I've coached people in so many different business models before, even my influencers, if you're dropping merch and that's all you've got to talk about once a month, it's going to be hard for you to make enough money. Creator funds and partner programs like on YouTube, yeah, it's great to get that money, but you have to be supersonic big with supersonic views to be like, oh, wow, now I can pay my mortgage. So those are extra streams of income that I encourage everybody to do. Even if you're a handmade business, having your own YouTube channel and building that up slowly and steadily, you could get into the partner program. And why shouldn't you have that extra income? But that's not what we're going to discuss today. But if you're not making at least 2 sales-based offerings or income-producing offerings a month, you're running a site-wide sale, you have a coupon, buy one, get one free, buy one, get one half off. Over a certain amount, it's free shipping. You have a new merch drop. You're retiring, a line of merch. You're running a clearance sale on things that haven't moved over the last business quarter. You have a monthly coaching group. You're launching or relaunching a course like I just did with Socialgram Shortcut. You've got a sales funnel. You make more money by making more offers. So if you're a business, you need to act like it, and you need to act like it every day on social and every day through your emails. An email once a week is a sheer minimum to your list. You're actually going to get more unsubscribes off the email list if you don't email every single week. I know that there are some students, see the pinned comment or the beginning of the description on the replay. I know that there are some students who say get the popularity plan every month because if nothing else, they've got a pre-templated email to send out to their list, so that there's barely any writing for them to do, and they can stick a PS on there if they need to with a sale or a coupon or whatever might be going on that day, that week. But if they're not emailing their list, they're not making the sales they thought they were. The people who raise their hands to get on your email list are 3 times more likely to buy from you than folks who happen to find your website, no matter how good its SEO is. 98% of visitors the first time to your website will not buy. You've got to get them there multiple times. How are you going to do that if you don't do lead capture? Maybe they'll follow you on social and maybe they'll go back again. But when I tell you that approximately a quarter of your sales are going to come from just your SEO on your website and social media, content marketing like YouTube and stuff like that, what does that do to you? You realize that if you don't have an email list, you best be getting on. This isn't sponsored, but MailChimp, they have a free plan currently up to the first 1,000 subscribers. It's free to you. So you may as well do it. And you may as well learn. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there that can show you click by click how to set up your account and how to have an email list and how to set up an email opt-in page. And it's free for you to learn. It's free for you to do. No matter how new you are, how little money you have, you can get that email list up and running, and you should. So if you're not willing to do the email marketing at all, it's very hard for you to run a profitable business, short-term or long-term. But now let's talk about the 4 main levels of an average marketing and sales funnel. Each level, 3 of the 4 levels have to do with the macro conversions you need for your business to succeed. So if you imagine a funnel, the top of the funnel is always the biggest. The bottom of the funnel, of course, is the smallest. At every level, you're going to lose people. Folks are going to slough off, so until you get to the bottom where, spoiler alert, the bottom is sales. Up top is awareness. That's the first level. Your content marketing, if it does nothing else, is meant to serve as one digital piece that you publish per day per platform. Imagine those being it's like Hansel and Gretel, that childhood tale, where, there's little breadcrumbs or little bits of food that cause a trail and it leads back to where their home is, right? In theory, that's what happens. So every piece of content marketing that's properly optimized for your ideal customer, think of it like a breadcrumb, and it's leading people to, or back to if they've been there before, but leading people to say you're on Instagram, to your Instagram profile and bio and account, right? So every post that you do, feed post, reel, whatever it is on Instagram TV, video, whatever, when you properly optimize it with keywords in the caption and hashtags also, I'd say put all the hashtags in the caption for everything now just to be safe. Those are meant to be pulled up in search, pushed out into Explore for suggested traffic. And that's how people discover you when they don't know about your business. They don't know about you. They don't know about the names of your offerings. How are they going to find you? You have to properly optimize utilizing Instagram SEO in this example, the keywords in the caption, as well as the hashtags themselves. Okay, so if someone discovers you, they come to the top of your funnel on Instagram in this example. That's the awareness level. There's no macro conversion yet. That digital breadcrumb has just led them to your account. If your account and what's stocked on there impresses them, you will get the first macro conversion. So we go from awareness to intent, and then the next level is decision, and the final level is action, okay? So we go from awareness to intent. At the intent level, somebody says, you know what, I like this brand. I like what I see stocked on their account in terms of content. I need to follow them. It's kind of like putting a little ribbon on my finger so I remember about them, because everybody's following how many accounts now on every platform, right? So staying with Instagram in this example, they have now gone from the awareness level, which is the biggest amount of folks. It's the widest part of the funnel. It's not unusual for fewer people to follow you, at least their first trip to your account, than it is the amount of people who become aware of you. This is just probability and statistics. It's nothing personal. You don't freak out because of this, okay? It's just human nature. So you've got to drive a lot of traffic every single day into that funnel because it gets narrower and narrower as they go from awareness of your business and its offerings to intending to be part of your community. So the first macro conversion at the intention level is that they follow you on Instagram in this example. Then the next level down is the second macro conversion, where they make a decision that they like you so much and they like your offerings so much that they're going to opt into your email list. On the Instagram example, it's the link in bio. So people will click on the link in bio for a coupon, a freebie, maybe both. And then you've done lead capture, which is so important in marketing and sales, because again, the people on your email list are 3 times more likely to buy from you. So if you're liking what you're hearing so far, you guys give this video a big thumbs up. I could care less for my ego. It's just while I'm live, more of my subscribers will be pinged that I'm live, and on the replay, more of them will be reminded by YouTube that this video is live in the replay. Okay, thank you. I see more thumbs up. That's just going to help ping more people, It's not, oh, I feel better, all these people. So here's the thing. So to get somebody to get to the point where they're giving you a sale, most people, if they're not willing to get onto your email list for the coupon, the freebie, or both, most of them are very unlikely to drop all the way down to the bottom of the sales funnel where they take action and they buy whatever it is your offering is. So awareness is the top of the funnel. Most people are going to get to you at the awareness level with properly optimized pieces of content on a platform. And so then they'll drop down, enough of them, the funnel's still wide, to the next level, which is intention. They intend to follow you. They intend to be part of your community. Macro conversion number 1, they give you the follow. They go further down the funnel. Fewer of them, statistically speaking, no matter how much they like you, are going to get onto your email list during that trip through the funnel, that first trip through the funnel. So that's them deciding to give you their email address in exchange for a freebie. And then either that day, because they get a really good coupon or whatever, or soon enough when they're ready, willing, and able, fewer still are going to drop down to the bottom of that funnel and take action, which for you means giving you a sale. Now, if your business isn't making enough sales and you are content marketing on the daily and you are properly optimizing your content, you're putting out every day more and more content out there. You're properly indexing it through keywords in the caption, hashtags depending upon the platform. In this example, it was Instagram. Instagram still loves hashtags, even though Instagram SEO is increasingly becoming a thing. So the keywords that are in your caption are becoming more and more powerful for you to really be intentional about. No caption, or like basically no caption, like a stubby little thing, is not going to help you anymore. The price of poker goes up on all the platforms. What can I say? But I have plenty of students who are multiple 5, 6-figure, 7-figure businesses. I have a couple 7-figure businesses now. One of them is Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, but unfortunately, I have an attorney and I have an NDA with them, and I have another big influencer, and she doesn't want everybody to know I'm coaching her. So as a favor, I won't say it, but enough of my students have been with me through the years to know that if they apply what I teach them, it does work, even if it pushes them out of their comfort zone. So let's talk about where your content marketing might be breaking down, because you're like, well, Stacey, I do everything you said. I have MailChimp or another email service provider. I have my main list. I have my email opt-in. I have my email opt-in list. I'm doing what you're telling me to do. I email my list at least once a week. I content market daily. at least on the top two social media platforms that are most important to my niche. Maybe if I'm a solopreneur or maybe I have a teeny tiny team, I can't really do more than two platforms regularly. So maybe that's, for example, Facebook and Instagram. And so maybe as I start to reinvest back into my business more, I might get a video editor down the line and I could more easily anyway, put out a YouTube video once a week. Because YouTube loves consistency. Okay. Spotty, they don't like. But even if you're a handmade business, YouTube can, down the road, when you can manage it, be a very valuable asset to you. But what if you're like, okay, Stacey, like I'm properly optimizing everything. I swear I am, but I'm not getting a lot of views on my content. And I'm certainly not getting a lot of followers, or I get like a few every week, but nothing else seems to happen. So if that's where you're stuck, then I'm telling you, you think you're optimizing your content properly and you're not. It's almost never that your content itself sucks. Okay. Because a lot of times we want to blame the content. Oh, it sucks. Not true. Not true at all. Or we don't think we're young enough or pretty enough or handsome enough or comely enough or thin enough. The camera adds 5 pounds, Stacey. Yeah, I know, everybody. Guess what? I have a plenty profitable business and I'm in my 50s. I have facial palsy and I'm definitely still overweight. Okay. So all of that is just head trash and you need to take it out to the curb because it's garbage. Okay. Actually, it makes you more relatable, especially if you're looking to sell to like moms, middle-aged women. A lot of my students, that's their ideal customer, at least some quick and dirty on the demographics. Not everybody, but those people are going to relate to you more unless, instead of you being stick thin and perfect and you're like Martha Stewart and everything's airbrushed. That might have been cool back in 2016. People have fatigued on that sort of like digital perfection, or people face tuning everything that they put on Instagram or whatever. It's ridiculous. Nobody needs that on Instagram or really anywhere else. So that's the good news, but it's the bad news if you were using that as a scapegoat. So it's almost never having anything to do with you if you show up in the content. It almost never has anything to do with how you're creating the content, the pictures you take, the graphics that you might create. I have plenty of students who get to 6 figures and beyond just using the free or paid version of Canva Pro. It's not sponsored, but even you can muck about with the free version of Canva if you had to, and the free version of MailChimp if you had to. And until you get to 1,000 subscribers on MailChimp, that's still free. So like you don't have to, it's not that you can't have the tools. You can, at least the basic ones. It's not that your camera phone isn't enough. It could be an iPhone 5 or 6. And honestly, that still has good enough quality that you're not like super grainy and destroyed with the pictures you take or the videos you take. So if you're like, oh, I only have the iPhone 10. Oh, who cares? The iPhone 5 or 6 or whatever the Android equivalent of it is pretty fine for you. So you don't have that excuse either. Oh, Stacey, I can't, I don't have, let's see, I don't have like a stand or a ring light or more ring lights or Diva ring light when I'm doing YouTube videos on a bigger stand. I can't afford the equipment. Who cares? You don't need them. You could use natural lighting and be fine. Is it dark when you're shooting these things? You could use electrical lighting and be fine. There's plenty of YouTube videos out there, free trainings that will teach you how to use the lamps in your room with or without the shades on to kind of mimic professional lighting until maybe down the road you can afford it. It's almost never the quality of your content is the whole point I'm making. So if you're like, well, I'm not getting enough people at the top of my sales funnel, awareness, I'm not getting enough views. I have to tell you that it probably has a lot to do with how you're optimizing your content. You're not necessarily very mindful of the words or keywords that you're putting in the captions for your stuff on Facebook or Instagram, or how you're composing your tweet on Twitter. Oh, Twitter, where's Bridget? I know she's not going to be here this week. Um, it also, the caption that you write for your TikToks, the words you put in there can help you get that piece of content indexed in search properly. And so, if you're writing one or two stubby lines because you hate writing and you're in and you're out, that might not be helping you. And it might be making it difficult for your content to be competitive. If you don't have a coach like me, it's kind of hard to be able to understand Instagram SEO or SEO via social media, not just Google. Google's still the biggest search engine on planet Earth, and SEO or search engine optimization on Google for, like, say, your website is still important. But on social media, with your content marketing, on even YouTube, the keywords in your title, in your description, tags aren't as important on YouTube anymore, but they still can play a role if the algorithms need the tags to kind of make a complete cohesive decision about whom to suggest your videos out to. Then the algorithms will take the tags into consideration. YouTube didn't take away tags for a reason. They're no longer a silver bullet, but they're still important. All the algorithms on all the platforms, over and above the keywords and the hashtags, will also scrub through or surface your content to make decisions about, what your content's all about. Will they look to the SEO and the caption, the keywords and the caption, and the hashtags also for the platforms where it's applicable? Yes, they will. And that will help also. But if you're using overbroad keywords, it's going to be hard to make a narrowed down, nuanced decision about, algorithmically, who do we put this out to and suggest it to? Maybe on the homepage on YouTube, or suggest it in the side on YouTube if you're talking YouTube videos. If we're talking Instagram, it's going to be hard to make good matches and suggest things out on the explore page. If we're talking TikTok, it's going to be difficult for us to make good decisions about how to recommend your stuff out to the For You page, right? And on it goes. Facebook can make its own recommendations as well. So do you guys understand that, like, you have to probably do a whole lot more research when it comes to the keywords you put in your captions on any platform? And if hashtags are applicable, hashtags, if you can invest in your business, I do highly recommend Flick. My more successful students, it's hard to think of anybody who doesn't use Flick. I do have a link down in the description for flick.tech. If you go through my link, you get a week of everything unlocked for free on it, and you can figure out if, Flick makes sense for you. It is an official third-party vendor of Instagram. I don't recommend apps that aren't official, like partners or third-party vendors of a platform. Could get kind of dicey when you do things like that now or down the road. So flick.tech is not one of those platforms. And even though it's important and it's Instagram focused, what I found, and a lot of my students have found, is if you use those same hashtags narrowed down that it suggests to you, it gives you the data on, you can see if you're being competitive for the hashtags you're using. You can see the top posts on Instagram using that hashtag, but you can also see, using something like flick.tech, if the hashtags that you're using aren't just relatable to your content, but you can see the average amount of comments that type of content that's indexed with that type of content gets. You can also see who's more likely to, like, engage with it, heart it or whatever. So that's data you just can't get, like, kind of figuring it out on your own on Instagram. So sooner or later, if you're going to invest in a paid tool, I highly recommend flick.tech. It really is a great secret weapon for optimization, because if you're not optimizing your content right, you may not get very much in the way of views on your content. So the awareness level of the funnel is where it's broken for you. It's where it gets stuck. If you are not putting out a YouTube video once a week at least, you're not consistent enough for that platform. If you're not posting once a day minimum on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you're not giving enough posting frequency. So not enough people are being fed for those platforms, for enough people to get fed into the top of your funnel. So now you're broken at the beginning of the marketing and sales funnel. You do need the frequency and the consistency for each platform. You do. That's why I'm saying for beginners, don't go crazy with YouTube yet. I prioritize to get into it as soon as you could, because my intermediate and advanced students, again, I can't think of anybody offhand now, but they all have it. They all have a YouTube channel. And even if it's once a week, they just post there. Or they'll do a live and post the replay, and at least they have consistency. And they pay attention to titles, thumbnails, and tags there, and descriptions and content. And so they can rank. Does anybody have any questions about the awareness level? If you're not getting sufficient views, it's very likely that it's an optimization thing. It's not a content quality issue almost ever. If your stuff isn't dark and grainy and you have decent sound quality, like people can make out what you're saying, you can always invest in the more expensive equipment later. But you're otherwise going to have a forest trees issue in terms of feeding enough people into the top of the funnel at the awareness level to be able to get enough people to work their way through that first trip, where some people will buy from you that day, but most people won't. If you're not constantly feeding and refeeding repeat visitors back into your funnel, they're not going to keep progressing down to the interest level of the marketing and sales funnel. They're interested enough to give you a follow, or on YouTube, subscribe. And then fewer still are going to go down to the decision level. I decide to get on their email list if I'm not already. I've decided I want their freebie. I want their coupon. I want both. And then fewer still are going to drop down that day or very quickly thereafter to use the coupon, or they go through your free masterclass webinar and they purchase your course, whatever your sales model is. Does anybody have any questions about the 4 levels, awareness, interest, decision, and action of the marketing and sales funnel? And does anybody have any questions about getting stuck at the top level or the awareness level? If you're not posting frequently and consistently, that's hurting you. If you're not optimizing properly, that's hurting you. If you're using hashtags and keywords, nothing but or mostly that are too broad and basic, that's hurting you. You can't be competitive for those things. So it's hard. If you'll get indexed in search for hashtag hamburger, you'll also be buried in seconds. But hashtag jalapeno cheeseburger, you might have a chance to hang out high enough in the feed where if someone's scrolling through, say on Instagram, because they can search up or follow hashtags, you might have a ghost of a chance of being seen there. If you're not using something like hashtag jalapeno cheddar burger, it's harder for the algorithm to go, oh, this is a perfect match for this foodie person. Like I'm thinking in terms of optimizing content for Joe's Dairy Bar and Grill, right? So, okay. And also new for 2022, it's hard to get the views that you need to have digital breadcrumbs that will lead people back to your account or lead them back for another repeat visit if they've been there before. It's hard at the awareness level to really have your content marketing work for you if you are insisting on avoiding Instagram Reels and TikTok. I'm sorry. I'm not saying that a properly optimized photograph feed post can't be competitive and pull people into the top of your funnel. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that Instagram said that of the 4 top priorities for them for 2022, Instagram Reels is at the top. Period. That's their most important thing. And they came out and said why. They have fierce competition. And they even mentioned, Instagram CEO Adam Mosseri mentioned that TikTok's a big competitor. They have no choice. So they're going to reward you with extra algorithmic push onto the Explore page for Instagram Reels. If you're not doing TikTok marketing, you're missing out. The next 12 to 18 months, you should still have a decent sized window where you're going to get extra boost and push onto the For You page, disproportionate to what you'll otherwise get for even so a well-optimized piece of content. Because TikTok wanted to be the biggest app in the world. It is now, as of 2021, it was the most downloaded app in the world. and they keep unlocking features. Tomorrow on my YouTube channel, I'm going to have a video that talks about how I got access to the TikTok stories feature and what it looks like to use it and what it looks like to add content to it, and all my ideas of how any business owner can use Instagram stories content. I'm sorry, TikTok stories content for their business. I just did one TikTok story and added one thing to it, and boom, I got more subscribers than I ever did. Because yes, TikTok story content does for a time go on the For You page right now. That may not always be the case. They're testing different things with it. You can't afford to stay away from short form video content marketing. Your funnel's not going to be very effective if you're not driving a bunch of traffic into it every single day. So those are just the base reasons why at the awareness level, the top of your funnel, you're not getting enough people in to get any macro conversions. Now, what if somebody sees your content, you're getting a decent amount of views, but you're not even getting much in the way of followers or subscribers? Again, it's very unlikely that it's the quality of your content, especially when we're talking about short form video content marketing. The brands and the companies and the business owners that have these like highly edited things, they don't tend to perform so well right now. The corporate culture for TikTok and Instagram stories is very like behind the scenes, day in the life, rough hewn, here I am, nothing perfect about it. That should actually make you feel better. So it's not about the quality of your content again. It's more like if people aren't following you or subscribing, whatever the platform parlance might be, it's because the content wasn't what they were looking for. And or yes, you're a business. Yes, you're going to sell, whether you're a products-based business or not. But if you're a products-based business, I'll beat up on you guys for a second. You can't just have a feed that's product. A tsunami of products, or an avalanche of products and a tsunami of sales announcements. Will you have a lot of that stuff going on? Sure, you will. That's the nature of the beast. And yes, you want it to be nice content. You want to have nice captions. You want to have great optimization with hashtags where applicable. But if it's nothing but that, and someone shows up and it doesn't just hit right with them, or they weren't buyer aware, desperate to make a purchase for whatever, and they happen to find a digital breadcrumb and come back to your account and go, oh, okay, this is perfect, you're not going to get much, if any, sales. So I'm not guaranteeing you won't get sales. You could get like 1-2% of people buying from you, where they just so happen to drop all the way down to the bottom of the funnel from awareness to action, and they buy. But most people won't. Just like most people, 98% of people who will go to your website for the first time won't buy. Even if they have some awareness about you, they are still going to be about 98% not buying. So that means you have to constantly redrive traffic to your website, to your sales pages, to your Etsy shop or your Amazon listings or whatever. You're not going to get enough people dropping down that funnel. So people aren't following or subscribing in terms of your social media content marketing. They're just seeing nothing but a bulletin board of stuff, and they're not ready to buy right now. So you do need to have a certain amount of relationship marketing content there. Everybody's favorite topic is themselves. Everybody's next favorite topic is the problem that's a pain in their butts right now, or whatever they're super passionate about. They just have to buy and collect and they can't have enough, right? So if your content is nothing but a bulletin board, it's harder today to get that KLT factor where people will follow you, let alone get on your email list, let alone buy from you. So if you don't have content marketing that's also like tip, trick, technique based, starring your products, or inspiration, aspirational based, testimonials and case studies about happy people who have the results that these people want, sometimes entertainment based stuff, behind the scenes, how it's made, things like that, of course, starring your products, or this is, what it looks like when we achieve this transformation for service-based coaches and course creators. If you don't have that sort of stuff and it's just a bulletin board, here's my stuff. My stuff comes in green. My stuff's on sale. Limited time sale, limited quantities. How come no one's buying my stuff, Stacey? Or I get like a couple of little stingy sales every month. I just have an expensive hobby. It's because you're not talking to the customer about themselves enough. So when they come to again, I'll use Instagram as an example. They find a piece of content on the Explore page through suggested traffic, or they find you in search on Instagram. And then they follow that piece of content back and they're like, oh, I like this business. I see the feed. They have plenty of things to titillate me, not just in terms of their offerings, but they care about people like me with a problem like what I have. Because look at all of this great content. I have to follow them. I'm not going to be able to binge on all of this right now. So I need to at least follow them. It's like tying a red little ribbon around my finger digitally so I remember to go back to them. I'll look at who I'm following or I'm subscribed to, and I'll just, if it doesn't show up in my feed, or once I'm done binging on stuff in my feed, I'll jump back and I'll see who I've followed to see what goodies they have. But if you can't get a follow, you're not a real resource to these people. If you're not a real resource, another competitor who is going to win the follow over you. So if you're like, my stuff is broken, my sales funnel is broken, I get plenty of views, but I don't get any or many followers or subscribers, that's why. They don't show up at your YouTube channel. They don't show up your Facebook page or group or your Instagram or your TikTok and go, great, this is for somebody just like me who's passionate about what I'm passionate about or has the problem that I have. So I could really super binge on this content, or if I run out of time, I'm definitely going to subscribe or follow. So if you're not getting that, that's where the funnel is broken for you. And that's what you have to fix. Next, what if you get a fair amount of views to great views every day? You're posting frequently and consistently. You know that you're optimizing. You're a student of mine, you're probably using Flick, right? And if you're on YouTube, there's a free version of TubeBuddy that you can get to. That's a great tool that can help you. Just the Keyword Explorer alone is worth the price of admission, and that's free. So you can go down, even if you go with one or the other two paid versions, it's totally worth it. But free is for me, right? So if you're new or it's hard for you to be profitable, you can check the link down below for TubeBuddy. That's a free tool. Just like you could use Canva for free without going pro if you needed to go that route. And just like up to your first 1,000 subscribers, you could have an email service provider like MailChimp for free. No big deal. But let's say, speaking of email addresses, you're like, Stacey, my stuff gets views. I know I'm doing a good job. I know that I'm optimizing properly. I'm pretty sure I am anyway. And so I will get followers and subscribers from week to week. But nobody gets on my email list, or almost no one does. Now what's wrong? Well, if they're not getting on your email list, they're not deciding at that level. It's awareness, it's interest, it's decide. They're not jumping on your email opt-in, because if you're doing a coupon and it's not at least 20% off, you can Google the statistics. This isn't the gospel according to Stacey Storino. I say it, so it must be true. Although after 8 years of coaching with this stuff, you'd think I'd know, right? But like under 20% for a coupon code, you could see very easily by Googling studies that are more recent to years ago, it's the same thing. Under 20% is like a limp handshake. So most people aren't going to opt in. In fact, if you're like 5% off, 10% off, you actually, some polls and surveys show that people are pissed off and offended. So now they're not coming back to you if they stumble across another one of your digital breadcrumbs later. Don't be penny wise and pound foolish. And if you're a products-based business and you're like, but Stacey, if I give away 20% or even 30% or even 25% off that first purchase, I won't make any profit. Well, Prices of everything are going up. So now's as good a time as any, especially if you make tangible goods, goods that you can touch. It's not digital downloads, it's not coaching, it's not courses and stuff. Now would be a pretty good time to raise your price, because one of my mentors and my friends often says, Renee Christine, you want to price high enough so you can discount low enough as you need to. So maybe your 10% off coupon isn't really motivating anybody to do diddly over squat. Go to 20%. If you're at 20%, test for like 1-2 weeks at 25% and see if that isn't competitive enough. Because if you understand your ideal customer and you understand the market that you're in, then you understand how to give them an offer that is very difficult for them to refuse, even the coupon edition. If you're a coach or a course creator or you provide services, maybe the coupon works for you, or a free consultation or something like that. You have to know your industry and you have to understand your ideal customer both. For coaches and course creators, if no one's opting in because they don't want your checklist, then maybe you have to do a guide or a free series or a master class. That's a deep dive where you're teaching something that really someone comes away and goes, I can't believe they gave this to me for free. That's a lot of deposits up front into the bank of know, like, and trust. Once they're on the email list, they get the freebie. But if they're not opting in for the freebie, they don't care. It's not sexy to them. And also, even if you have a freebie that performs really well, at some point it's going to fatigue and you need to give an updated version. Whether that's annually or not, there's no magic formula anymore. You have to look at your analytics. But if it seems like there's a drop off after you were cooking with gas, getting people on your email list, it could be because your opt-in's stale. It's not exciting anymore. It might have been before. So consider toying around with your opt-ins, because if people aren't getting onto your email list, but you're getting good views and you're getting decent subscribers or followers, that's where you're broken in the funnel, and that needs to be fixed. Finally, I've had students go, you know what, Stacey, my content gets good views. I get decent amounts of subscribers and followers from week to week. My community is growing. I seem to get decent interactions there, comments, engagements, likes, hearts, whatever. I go live on Instagram, they double tap, they wave. I get people on my email list every week. I get good open rates and click-through rates on my emails, meaning enough people are opening them, and you're e-commerce at this point. 2% is decent. I didn't say it was sexy, but I said it was decent. That's a floor, not a ceiling. I have plenty of students that go 20, 30% or higher from week to week with their open rates, even as their lists get bigger. It's true. But 2% is not bad. If you're getting a 2% rate or higher open rate, that's decent for e-commerce. See how you need to get more and more people back into your funnel to get more and more people on that email list, because 2% of a bigger list is still more people opening up to even click on the link that's in there. That's the click-through rate to, make a purchase potentially, right? Or at least if you're shoveling them towards your freebie YouTube video for the week, you want at least enough of them to go, ooh, I'm interested enough to click and get the value out of whatever you're teaching or showcasing or whatever in the YouTube video in this example. But if you're going for sales, that's the bottom of that marketing and sales funnel. You've gotten through awareness. You've gotten through intention. People are following you or subscribing to you on YouTube. You've gotten through them getting into your email list. They're deciding to get onto your email list, but they don't buy. You're so close. So if your click-through rates stink, then they're not motivated enough. Like if enough people open your email, if not enough people open your email, then your email subject line sucks. And they're not intrigued enough to open, even at a rate of 2%. So if you have like 100 people, if you can't even get 2 people to open that email, you've got to think of something that's intriguing, that's not rude, and is not clickbaity. Like if you're teasing somebody and hooking them with interest so that they have to click open your email, you better deliver or explain why you used whatever subject line you used. And as long as you can deliver that in a sentence or two really quickly, they'll forgive you if it's a little bit clickbaity. Like the other day, I posted about the YouTube video that I put up about failure. And I wrote in the title line something to the effect of, I'm a failure. I'm a failure. You could be a failure. Does it matter? And of course, when folks opened up that email, my email click-through rates were amazing and the open rates were amazing. But I very quickly delivered on a quick little explanation about, I'm not kidding. And watch this video because it unpacks more for you. You don't want to give away the whole, like if you're sending somebody to a video or a live stream or a replay, you don't want to give away the store, but like let them know what they're going to get out of it and it's worth their time to go. You're going to see your click-through rate go up. So this was a perfect example of great open rates, great click-through rates, right? And then I had a lot of people reach out to me in the background because not everybody wants to discuss failure publicly. But, I had messages and DMs and things like that. And, it's an honor that my students free and paid, because if you're watching me on YouTube and you never bought anything of mine, I still consider you a student of mine. You're just a free student of mine. But free and paid, like people, want to talk, and, failure is a rough thing for an entrepreneur. And this whole marketing and sales funnel that I talked to you about and introduced at the top of this hour and went back and unpacked throughout this hour, it's a lot of work to get sufficient amounts of people into the awareness level so that more people drop through and go down to the action level. It is work. And if it were easy, everyone would do it. The people I feel sorriest for are the solopreneurs. Whether you're new or experienced, I feel sorriest for them because they have no team to help them. Whether you're products or you're a coach or whatever, it's real hard to wear all the hats and do it on your own. So you're like, sure, Stacey, up at awareness level, it's easy for you to say about, getting people aware of my business and posting consistency and frequency. But, for me to be able to do that every single day, well, it's hard. I'm all by myself. I understand, but that's why stuff like the popularity plan can help you because it'll do at least half of your heavy lifting from month to month. And the stuff works. My students love it. And they keep coming back for the next edition, because a lot of them are solopreneurs or they're small teams. Maybe they have an admin to help them with sales and getting stuff out, especially if they're a physical business. Or maybe they have a video editor, right? So that they can keep up with a YouTube channel once a week or more. My 6 and 7 figure clients tend to, not always, but they tend to do 2 to 3 YouTube videos a week. They know at some point they're going to burn out, or it's just not possible bandwidth wise to produce all this content on their own. So yeah, they may be making more money, but they're reinvesting back into their business. Why? Because they know that if they just stick with whomever's already in their funnel and they're not trying to drive more people in there every day or on YouTube at least 1, 2, 3 times a week, not enough people are going to get to the top of that funnel at the awareness level to start working their way down. Remember, you're always going to slough people off at every level. That's just probability and statistics. There's no curve buster that gets 100% conversion rates at every level. Go Google it. It's not there. Because that's just the human race for you. But if you're not refilling that funnel every day, yes, some people will go on their return trip, but a lot of people will be new to you every day. Some people who couldn't be bothered following or subscribing eventually do, because they're like, you know what, this is such a resource about whatever pain point or passion point I have. This person can help me. We can talk shop all day, whatever's applicable. They get me and they get people like me. They either are someone like me or they've just had so much experience helping somebody like me. And after 1, 2, 3 passes with content, someone on their second or third return trip will be more likely to at least give you a follow. They at least intend enough to become a member of your community. But now does it make more sense to you, for those who have stuck with me for this long, why every level there's a pinch point or a breaking point. And so now if you're like looking at your analytics, you go, I get plenty of views. Okay, awareness isn't the hard part for you. Sure, your content's fine. Sure, you probably are optimizing it. And sure, you have frequency and consistency down pat more than likely. But if no one's following you, they don't see a reason why. Or if they're following you, but they're not getting on your email list, they're not seeing the value in getting it. Your email opt-in just isn't enticing enough to them. Or they get on your email list. They're reading your emails. They're clicking on a lot of your links leading to free things, but they don't buy. It could be that if they're not clicking on the link to go to your website for the site-wide sale or to a new product that you launched, if they're not clicking on that, then the email broke or there's a break in your funnel in the email itself. You're not enticing people with the words you're using in the email to get them to go and click on the link, right? And even for free content like YouTube videos, same thing. Even for demos, tip, trick, and techniques or free trainings that you do on Facebook or Instagram or wherever with a live stream and a replay, maybe like this. You know, if you don't get enough people to go, then it wasn't enticing enough for them, right? So you have to think that the email still needs to do its heavy lifting. And or what if you get a fair amount of people clicking on the link and it's a sales-based video, but you don't get any sales because the product listing page didn't do its trick, or they went to the site-wide sale and the discount wasn't big enough, or the sale wasn't enticing enough. If you're the type of person who's going to tell me, Stacey, I do everything you say and I get people down the funnel, but nobody's buying, you're either selling something nobody wants, and that's a going out of business plan for sure, or you're not making enough of a compelling offer to them in the email, on the sales page, or both, where they just have to have whatever it is you're selling. Hold on, let me just take a quick sip. They don't understand how this either solves their problem, it can go a long way to helping them solve their problem, or how it satisfies their desire. People don't accept, let me try this. People aren't buying your stuff as much as they're accepting your offer to get out of pain and into pleasure, or to satisfy their desire, featuring your products, your services, your offerings. Does this make sense? Let me know live and on the replay if this makes sense to you. Even if you just say make sense or yes. And I'm just going to take another quick sip while y'all do it. And if you have any questions for me, especially having to do with the marketing and sales funnel or Instagram Reels, TikTok, Pinterest, whatever, now's your time to do it. And on the replay, put it in the comments down below. I don't mean to drink all up in front of y'all, but it's been an hour, so you can hardly blame me, right? Okay. Don't forget also that the April popularity plan is still open. I pinned the link down below on the live. On the replay, I'll make sure that it's the first comment. It's the first line in the description so that you can get it. There's still, while I'm live, 2 days left to get it and to start implementing the use of it. 15 social media graphics, 15 corresponding captions that are meant to convert, and 4 emails for that month, 1 assigned to every week in the month. So that's not bad. Also, for those people who wanted back into the Socialgram Shortcut Instagram Deep Dive course, the link's in the description anyway. I put the updated link in my defaults. So it's updated. There's a pay plan for it. It's 7 modules, 11 bonuses, like a ridiculous amount of bonuses. And at least for the next business quarter, you have a live stream with me in that paid student only group every week, and we can focus on your Instagram bio or anything that you need reviewed. I'm not getting anybody saying anything, and that's unusual. So I don't know. Let me see if I can pop out my chat. I don't know what happened. I'm not getting my chat. That's sad. All right. All right. YouTube, you can be that way. Let me pop out my chat. Oh, no, you guys are there. I'm sorry. So I had to pop out my chat for some crazy reason. I wasn't getting any update in terms of content. So Mike Reinhard, what's going on? The Speckled Loon by Susie B, Lenora Love, Amy Lindblade, Heidi Mine, Lisa Garrett, hashtag live, hashtag replay. Good morning. And she had a beautiful flower. I appreciate that. Heather Dupay. Good morning, Miss Stacey. Miss Heather. What's going on, Marissa Parsons? My God, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't get I didn't get any of the comments. I was like, what's going on? Is this thing on? Oh my gosh. Heather said keywords may be where I'm struggling with my posts. I'm not sure if when I write my copy properly for what platform is looking to trigger the content to show up. Definitely could do more reels and TikToks. I average 2 to 3 a week. Heather, I don't say what I'm saying easily to you or anybody else because I've got house, spouse, kid, worship, pets, plants. I have an active business that does really well. And right now, because I'm trying to pay down a lot of debt, yes, I have a small team, but I don't have an admin. I do the customer service. And unless I call in a tech support person, I have to do the techie stuff too, which I can't stand. That's my next hire. Once I get like another chunk of debt paid off. That's the next thing. Please praise Jesus. But I understand. So it's hard when you're a solopreneur. I know you and your husband are a team. I don't say this lightly because for years, I was an entrepreneur part-time for most of the last 22 years, but then like full-time for the last almost 8. But I've been doing this for 8 years. And I wore all the hats until summer of 2019 because I just had so much debt to pay off. So I had a business, multiple 5 and then 6, but it's after legal compliance and tax and, even overhead without independent contractors and or employees. I paid off tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars worth of debt. So I still wore all the hats until summer of 2019. Then I had to make thousands of dollars worth of investment into my business every month, but that increases the overhead, right? So I don't say anything lightly because I've had to walk the walk, and I'm still to a large degree walking the walk and talking the talk. Doing a reel every day on Instagram is better than 2 to 3 times a week. But I really appreciate you getting stuff out 2 to 3 times a week because it's better than the whole lot and nothing. Or maybe someone does an Instagram reel once a week. You're way better than them. You're all going to cry in like a year to 18 months from now when Instagram reels and TikTok, if they're already kind of a little bit sunsetting the extra bonus crazy stuff, but they're still competitive with one another. So I think this is going to be an approximate thing, but I think they're going to sunset slowly together. One doesn't want to be a better or worse deal than the other. So they're all going to be algorithmically spying on each other and all that stuff. So the best guesstimates that folks have that aren't direct employees at the companies, or even folks that do have back channels with those companies, you're looking at the next year or so that you can get stupid, ridiculous reach still, thanks to Instagram Reels, thanks to TikTok. But I'm not going to lie, you're really going to get the best results covering that base daily. And in terms of writing captions, especially if you don't love writing, that sucks. That's hard. For someone like Heather, maybe, although I think her writing's pretty decent, getting a copy editor down the line, even as an independent contractor, let alone an employee part-time or full-time. Some people listening to this live or on the replay, that's what you need to prioritize. And maybe you just continue to do your own customer service in the meantime, if you had to pick. between two positions. But the copy is really going to help you increasingly. Instagram 2 years ago wasn't saying anything about SEO. I had back channel connections and said, hey, listen, folks, I'm hearing that that's coming up on the radar screen. And if you're in Socialgram Shortcut for 1 to 2 years, you know I've been saying that Instagram SEO is a thing. Now in the live streams and the replays in the student only group. But now in the course, there's literally an Instagram SEO lesson. And we talk about keywords and hashtags and other lessons a whole lot in module 4, which is largely about optimization. And actually, we do introduce some stuff in module 3 where we're talking about the different types of content that you create on Instagram and which ones are more for community and which ones are more for growth and which one is a bit of both. And how to employ using it. Like if you could only have one piece a day, if you could do 2, 3 things a day, what would I do? Where would I put it? How would I go? So again, if you guys don't have Socialgram Shortcut, the link to that course is down below. Lenore says, how many times a year should I open enrollment for my course? I did it twice last year. You want to make more money, Miss Lenore? I would make an offer to it at least once a month. I don't see any reason to hide it in the witness protection program, or only bust it out once a year. The people who are like, oh, I only launch my course once a year. I mean, when David Siteman Garland, who is big for Create Online, excuse me. I'm sorry, guys. He's retired after 10 years of being in the business. But while he was more active years ago, he kind of said it's an either or even back then, where you might launch a course once a year, like big, your email list, you do lives, you do interviews, all these things, and you're shoveling a lot of people into that funnel then and there. And so even though very few people, statistically speaking, will drop down, the ratio holds at every level. But because you've got so much volume, of course, that's where it's like $10,000, $100,000 in sales. Da-da-da. But nowadays, I mean, that might have been more special where you had fewer competitors who were actively selling online courses. So to me, I would be making an offer every month on it. That would be one of the 2 offers I would make as a minimum to my email list during lives, social, YouTube, whatever, Lenore, and any other coach, course creator listening to me. If you only have one main course and that's your one big thing, I don't have a problem with that. But you need to be pushing it every month, because I can tell you now, and you can feel free to Google this too, folks. The more you drive traffic in there to that big course every month. I mean, I see this. I do much better pushing it month to month as opposed to once a year. I don't know what to say. The other offering that a coach or a course creator can make, you could have a boot camp every month. It's just a 5-day boot camp. You're not going to give those folks everything that you would get in like a $997 course, let's say. But, you can help them along with one leg of the journey. At the end of the boot camp, you're selling them into the $997 course. Those that are ready, willing, and able, that were already impressed in you, can then buy that course. Does that help you, Lenore? So that would be your second minimum thing that you do to, sales promotion. Otherwise, even coaches, course creators, your email list might be like, who are you? Like, they don't hear from you enough. So Heather says, question, if you offer more than 20% for the initial VIP sign up, do you believe that they expect that as a minimum discount for being a VIP going forward? I see no evidence of that. And I've talked to Renee Christine, and I've also, it's been a while, but I used to talk to Starla and Mark Moore a little bit too. I don't think that. I think a lot of consumers are like, the first big thing to get me onto your email list is probably going to be the best thing. Only exception being Black Friday through Cyber Monday. Does that make sense? I'm sorry I'm only seeing this now, Heather. What's going on, Stephanie? Happy honeybee. What hashtag should I use to get back engagement in Instagram if I haven't posted a lot lately? 10,000, 50, 500K, a million, or a mix? Okay, that's a really good question, Stephanie. So I will say this. It's not like there's a magic set of hashtags, if only there were. I think it almost doesn't matter what your content is or anything like that. My general 30,000 foot view advice for this very good question, whether you've been posting regularly or not, it would still be my advice. Like on Instagram, if it is anything other than a piece of Instagram story content, because you only get a max of 10 hashtags there, use all 10 hashtags. It doesn't matter if you bury them or like put stickers over them or whatever it is that you do, or you color them and they disappear into the background. It's not going to hurt their efficacy. So up to 10 hashtags for every piece of Instagram story content. Not for the whole story, no matter how much you do. Every piece that you tack on to that Instagram story hashtag, Instagram piece of content, Instagram story piece of content. But for feed posts, reels, static image feed posts, carousels or multiple images feed posts, Instagram TV stuff, up to 30 hashtags. The first 3 to 5 hashtags should definitely be the most important ones to that piece of content. They should all relate to that content. If they don't clearly relate, you're going to get either shadow banned, you could get your account shut. I know Stephanie knows better. She's more experienced. Always start with the hashtags that are most important to you in the content and that is most narrowly tailored to the content. So whatever that might be. You get up to 30 for every other feed post type content. And I would try to prioritize always, guys, hashtags that you can be competitive for. So even if you can go to 30, like try so hard for the first 3, 5, 10, a dozen to be ones that you could be competitive for. A million or more is too overbroad to be competitive. Am I saying never use hashtags that are close to or over a million? If they relate to your content and you can go to all 30 and you're running out of like inspiration for things you could have more traction with, you can do the last several, big. But it's more like if you're playing football, it's a Hail Mary pass. Like you may as well, but don't expect it to land. Because you're going to be buried in seconds or minutes by everyone and their mother who's using hashtag happy or hashtag honey. You know what I mean? So, but then, if it's 10,000, you might have a better chance than 100,000 or 50,000. You know what I mean? But you're always going to end up having a mix. Like we're not going to be able to do it with scientific precision here. But like, does that make sense, Stephanie and everybody else? Let me know if I just blathered and everybody blacked out or something. In the meantime, Heather says, I was posting 2-3 times a day on Instagram, but they're just photo or carousel posts. I need to get back into the swing of it again. Yeah, because even if you like optimize those things to the moon, Heather, and even if your Instagram SEO is on point, and even if the 30 hashtags or up to 30 hashtags that you used for the static image stuff is the best, okay, that post, you're giving that post the best chance to perform. And it will perform better than you're having just been like, meh. But if you're not doing Instagram Reels, you cannot be slack-jawed in amazement that you're just not getting the growth that you want. And again, go ahead. The longer you wait to get more regular with Reels or TikTok or both, the more you're going to be really, really sad when you turn around and you really, really don't have much traction. When the platform's owners and or officers are telling you what's important to them, I wouldn't go out of my way to go against the grains in that would. So, I would make it my priority to do an Instagram reel every single day. And in the beginning, your reels are going to suck just because you're not used to making them. But as you get better and better, it's just going to become second nature. luckily for all of you guys watching live or on the replay, like Instagram Reels and TikToks require so little, like in the way of editing or whatever. Like when I used to, edit my YouTube videos, even something that went up to 10 minutes, it could take me an hour because you had to, the production value that you need to really do super well on Instagram, you need to, like, any pauses, any mistakes, the younger your audience, even people in their young 30s, you need to like jump cut so that there's barely any air or no air between everything that you say. Like it, and if you don't have like a lot of B-roll on top of you talking into the camera, which is A-roll, then people will drop off. Live streams are different. I have to like be high energy and talk, and they still come and go. That's part of what happens with live streams, no matter how good you are, no matter how big your audience is. But like on YouTube, if you're not going back and forth between different camera angles, or if what's going on isn't just super fascinating, if it's just you talking all the time or most of the time, and we're not ping-ponging back and forth between camera angles, just of you and or what you're doing, then you need like, graphics and lower thirds and, you can get like free content that you can use, like video and or static images on things like Unsplash and Pexels and stuff like that. Then there's story blocks. That's a paid feature, and you can get all sorts of stuff that's okay to use in YouTube. I mean, the production value for a YouTube video is way more than it is for an Instagram reel or a TikTok. I mean, gosh. I wish I'd have thought about this more sooner. So Stephanie says from Happy Honeybee Co., I was posting 2 to 3 times a day. Then I got burned out with everything. Well, her business was exploding, folks, and she was running out of, if I'm remembering this properly, Stephanie, you were getting to the point that you're like, I can't. I need a separate workspace that I rent. I mean, it's wonderful that she got that successful. But she said she got burned out. I understand. I needed to take a few months to heal and get grounded. I'm back, but I noticed the hashtags that work don't anymore. It's not that these hashtags don't work. It's just that, and this is why if stuff sounds like from me or any other coach, like it's false urgency and scarcity, it's not. You need to understand how to use these platforms, and you need to be persistent and consistent and cover your daily base and, do the appropriate frequency. For anything but YouTube, it's at least once a day. Unfortunately, if Twitter's a big thing for you, poor Bridget, if she were here, she'd tell you, you need to post like once an hour. It's so mature and it's such a cluttered, clambery platform. Lord in heaven help you if that has to be, especially as a solopreneur, one of your top 2 social media platforms. For one of the 2 businesses that Bridget and Darren, her husband, run together, she has no choice. She has to be on Twitter. But since she's increased her frequency on Twitter, it's gotten better for her. She has no choice. She hates the platform. I hate the platform. But if I had to be there, I'd be there. I really don't, thank God. But here's the thing, Stephanie. It's not that the hashtags aren't working anymore. It's just that every hashtag becomes, unless somebody just created one because of new slang or something, every hashtag gets more and more use. So the longer y'all wait to get serious about content marketing on the daily, the harder it's going to be for you. Okay? Like that's hard. So, more and more people are going to use every hashtag. So the hashtag that had less than 1,000 uses, wait long enough, it's going to get to 10,000 uses, 50,000 uses, 100,000 uses. And it's harder and harder and harder. So just like Twitter, we're not there yet on Instagram, or I don't think TikTok or anything like that. But like Twitter has gotten to the point where if you're not posting basically every hour, it's going to be hard to get traction. That's just the truth. It's an ugly truth. Because it's such a mature platform. There's so much competition. There's so many people using auto posters or post scheduling software, right? Like Hootsuite or something like that. Hootsuite worked really great for Twitter for the longest time. If you're on Instagram and TikTok and Pinterest, I highly recommend later. Well, yeah, I do. And I mean, if you're in the Meta Business Suite, that can be really good for Facebook and Instagram, and you're spending no money there. But good Lord in heaven. I'm sorry, you guys. Oh, God, I am very sorry. I'm going to have to wrap this up because clearly I really apologize. You're welcome, Miss Lenore. Yeah, make an offer to your list and on social every month with your main course. I'm going to be doing it from now on. I'm going to be working. I don't have my planner here again, but I have like a physical planner and I plot in what I'm going to sell like every day. And I may give my list a couple days off. I may not, but I'm going to be offering Social Gram Shortcut every month. I'm going to work in Funnel Dynasty, which is my biggest, most expensive offering. Ideally once a month, maybe once a business quarter. It depends on how everything else falls down. Also, the popularity plan for a week out of the month. But I've got an offering every week for my list because they have so many different various needs, whether they're solopreneurs and beginners or whether they're advanced. So Heidi says, I used to do well with just images on Instagram, but now I get basically zero interaction unless I post a video, whether it's a story or a reel, regardless of hashtags. You know what, Heidi? I'm really glad that you said that because it's not just what the platforms want, it's what the humans want too. This goes back to one of my videos a week or so ago. You guys tell me. I shoot a video a day for YouTube. And then I try to stay a week to 2 weeks ahead because God forbid if I get sick again. A lot of my long-term students know I've been struggling with chronic illness. At least if I fall ill, I've got a week to 2 weeks worth of content covered for Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. But Heidi, I'm glad that you said that because let's face it, a week or so ago, I said, you don't want to get on Instagram Reels. You don't want to get on TikTok, folks. It's like you're trying to market using VHS and Betamax. Meanwhile, everybody skipped over Blu-ray and they're just streaming. You can beat your brains in and then get really pissed at me and every other coach and anybody who ever bought anything from, but you're not listening to us, or you're listening to our trainings from last year or 2 years ago, and we're trying to update you. So I know that's the case with me, but my paid students, I'm preaching to the converted to you guys. I know that I am. Heidi says, so I do a mix of photos, lives, reels, stories, and reels from TikTok. My competition, all they do is reels, and their engagement is 1,000% more. Okay, that shouldn't be happening, Heidi. And I don't think it's the quality of your content. If I recall correctly, your content quality when you were putting it out was quite good. So it's got to be, look at your similarly situated competitors. Look at the hashtags that they're using. Look at what keywords that they're using in their captions. And then at least look at their content to take inspiration from them. I never say to copy people. That's just bad karma. But at least you get an idea. But you can copy hashtags and keywords. So long as, make sure you hear me, everybody, so long as it relates to the actual content itself, because it's always a no-no to put in hashtags that don't relate to your content. And I don't care if you see other people do it on Instagram or anywhere else, and you're like, well, that doesn't make any sense to me why they're using those hashtags. Or all the idiots on TikTok that are putting hashtag FYP For You page. That might have worked back in 2020. The algorithm and the algorithms and the platform have evolved. What a waste of time, But again, if you're going to market with Betamax when we've skipped over Blu-ray and gone to streaming, I don't want to be mean, but, how could you expect streaming results when you're Betamax and, and VHS? You can't. So I'm not saying never do a mix of content. You want to do extra content that isn't a reel or a TikTok, go nuts. And it can do well if you optimize it well. But most human beings want to see video. That's what they want. And the video that they want, it seems to be getting tighter and tighter and shorter. So, I mean, on Android last summer, TikTok viewers that were millennials watched TikTok videos longer than YouTube videos. I'm not saying YouTube's going anywhere. I'm just saying you're not putting your foot in the same river twice. You need to stay up to date on this stuff, guys. Heidi said, I also think they're switching back with the way the feed is. My brain is foggy this morning, but it's something about posts will be showing up different. Stephanie from Happy Honeybee says, you're right, Heidi. I just read that too. They're going back to real-time feed views. I discussed this, I want to say, during last week's live, where I was talking about like the top 4 priorities for Instagram. So if you missed that last week's live, you should see it, like any of you. Because I was talking about in order the top 4 things for Instagram. So if Instagram's important to your content marketing, and in most cases, for all of you, it should be, that would probably be at least one of the 2 top 2 social media platforms for your niche. I did say that they're changing to, well, they're going to leave it by default to algorithmic feed, which is what it's been for the longest time. What Heidi and Stephanie of Happy Honeybee Company are saying is that there's an option now on Instagram. They're still rolling it out. So if you don't see it quite yet, oh God. Update your app, relaunch your device, and maybe you will see it. They're giving you the ability to toggle between chronological feed, which was how Instagram started, to the algorithmic feed. The algorithmic feed is what you have now by default, and you've had it for years. I don't care how old your version of the app is. One way to really take advantage of this, especially if you have a very heavily involved Instagram presence and base, is to do a live and urge people during the live and the replay that you post as an Instagram TV video, urge everybody to toggle back to the chronological feed and do reels about it, email your list about it. And, even if you can show them graphically what it looks like to toggle back and forth, because you take screenshots on your own account with you doing it, that's a really good thing to do. I remember, oh my goodness, speaking of Starla Moore, I remember with Facebook when you could toggle to prioritize a group. Starla took screenshots and posted it in the group. She, otherwise put it out there as content and literally showed people like 1 or 2 clicks what to do so that they could make sure that her group content was always in the feed. So now it must be time for you to be able to do that too for your followings, because then when they're back into chronological order, the stuff you post every day will automatically show up in their feeds. Just in chronological order, it'll eventually get buried with everybody else that they're following. Heidi says, Stacey, go take care of that cough. I'm a hot mess today with coughing and sneezing, so sending lots of love. And the same thing back to you. Does anybody have any other questions for me? I'm just going to very quickly get ready. As soon as I post the replay of this sucker, I'm going to go into the description. So if you want the April popularity plan, I'll have the link as the first line in the description. Yeah, I don't think I'm sick yet. It's been a long time. I don't want to say I'm due for it. And I hope Heidi and anybody else who isn't feeling well gets better. Okay, so I guess we're good right now. I've gone for an hour and a half, so make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. It helps me more than you realize. It really helps my subscribers more than you realize, because they'll see it more on the replay too in their feeds. It's one of the ways this platform works. So give the video a big thumbs up. Check out the popularity plan for April. You still have another 2 days until we're in April, so that can save you a lot of time, especially if you're solopreneur or small business. If you're interested in really seeing my deep dive discussion about Instagram SEO, content optimization for Instagram, and my, funnel filling plan for Instagram, at least for 2022 into the foreseeable future, you want my Socialgram shortcut deep dive course. Right now, just go to the link that is in the description. I still have to hook socialgramshortcut.com to that sales page. Oops. So make sure you click the link down below. That one works. I've had people take it. I am happy that you were able to catch my live today. And don't worry, Miss Stephanie, you're going to get back into the swing of things. I know you will. Everybody, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you click the bell notification and select all. We're going to go very heavy on Instagram Reels and TikTok this year on this channel. It's for your own good. I promise you. I would never push you guys to do something that makes you feel uncomfortable or sad or, is so heavy tech-wise. This stuff's a joke. This stuff's a joke to create TikToks and Instagram Reels. After you've done your first dozen or so, you're going to be like, whatever, I could do this in my sleep. Why was I stressing? And you will find you will feed your funnel more and you will get more conversions at every level of the funnel. Okay, this isn't a mystery. Wherever you break down in the funnel, you can fix it. Okay, so if you missed the beginning part of this training, go back and watch the replay all the way through, because we go through the 4 stages of the funnel, the 3 macro conversions, and where everything breaks down, so that we can fix it so people can continue to slide through your funnel and get to buying your stuff. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.